Hey folks, thanks to EA, we're here to take an early look at a new WRC game that has kinda come out of nowhere and I think might just be this year's biggest racing game sleeper hit. So to start, the game has been rebuilt in the Unreal Engine, and I think in the right lighting and weather conditions, it can look really good, but there are definitely some spots where I think the foliage needs work and sometimes seems a bit too copy-pasted, and then some of the lighting environments can feel a bit too flat for my taste. But of course, you're watching the gameplay here yourself on YouTube, and you can form your own thoughts on what you think the game looks like. I think it does look a lot better in a third-person camera though, when you aren't so close up to the environment details and can appreciate the car models more. But hey, graphics don't make a game fun, gameplay does. So as far as physics goes, they've actually ported over Dirt Rally's physics and seemingly improved on them heavily. I'll say right off the bat that I did love how Dirt Rally 2.0 felt, but the asphalt handling seemed too slippery, and that's an opinion held by a lot of the players. Well, it's not the case anymore. Every surface feels better to drive here, and Codemasters has directly stated that they've improved tarmac handling alongside force feedback, aerodynamic simulation, drivetrain inertia, progressive braking, which is another big one, and much more. And it shows. This game feels like a direct improvement over Dirt Rally 2's handling when driving in a sim rig. Now, I've just barely dipped my toes into all the content this game has to offer, but I do want to spend some time here with a bit of a content overview to catch everybody up who might be out of the loop. This game has over 600 kilometers of road to drive, spread across about 200 rally stages that take place in 17 locations, including both real and fictional stages, with at least one more confirmed location to be coming post-launch for free. Now, this 200 stage number is 12 stages per location, which is comprised of 2 full-length stages, both run in reverse as well, that are then also cut in half to shorter stages, which are also run in reverse, to make 12 total. But it is worth noting here that it seems at least some of the reverse stages here are not the same as their original counterparts, with slightly different layouts and corners, so that might help break up the gameplay and help each stage feel more unique. And again, that 600 kilometer stat is not counting any of those reverse or cut up stages. There are actually over 600 kilometers of unique road in this game. So if you want some rally driving, WRC has a lot of it. But of course, good driving needs to be surrounded by good gameplay to get the most value. And this is another area where it seems like Codemasters is delivering. To start, of course, we do have a lot of car classes throughout rally history in the game, but the main focus here is WRC, and there is a fully fleshed out campaign mode that can be experienced through Junior WRC up to WRC 2, and then WRC 1. If you've played other WRC games from KT, or maybe more closely recent F1 games from Codemasters, you'll kind of understand the basic concepts and structure of what this career mode will feel like, but this is pretty in-depth, with sponsors to manage and keep happy, funding and budget targets, full team management with things like salaries, skill levels, and more. And of course, the new ability to build your own rally car from scratch, which we'll touch on a bit more soon. So there is some variety and unique gameplay to the career, but again, I think any F1 game fans will feel pretty at home here with WRC's career mode. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I like these light management elements and aspects of running a real team throughout actual simulated racing seasons. It gives me something to do outside of just jumping from race to race, and surrounds the racing with more meaning and motivation. So aside from the career mode though, we also have a championship builder, which lets you pick from any team, tweak difficulty and length, and then jump into a randomly generated series of races. Next up, and I think this one's really cool, we have moments. These are unique scenarios with specific goals that set you up in interesting fictional situations where you have to maybe make it through a stage in a certain car without taking damage. Or, more interestingly, these can set you up to relive iconic moments from real rally history, dating back up to 50 years. So you could be put into Colin McRae's shoes at the '92 Rally Finland after he had flipped his car and it was all busted up, and then you have to finish the stage yourself in-game. More moments will also be added frequently to keep up with the most recent WRC season, so it looks like this will, in a way, act as an in-game playable highlights reel of WRC's present and past, which is honestly just a brilliant concept, and I really hope this is able to deliver. The few experiences I've played have certainly been fun, but I wish there was more live footage to accompany it and maybe some narration, or at least a more in-depth description to cover more of what the scenario actually is for people that appreciate the setup and kind of roleplay aspect of these moments. For example, this moment doesn't even really mention who the original driver is or why the car is so busted up when you get into it, which just gives less meaning to the gameplay for players that don't know the history already. I think more context here is key, but I'd like to hope this is an easy enough problem to correct. Now, for more single-player content, we've also got quick play modes to freely set up custom events however we want, and this even comes with a regularity rally game mode, which is so cool. This is all about maintaining a constant average speed, not about being the fastest. And I've done these in real life, so it's so neat to see this supported in a game. We of course also have time trial modes here, with featured events as well as the ability to set a leaderboard time on any stage in the game. And I should actually point out here that a lot of the in-game content has leaderboards, including the moments we just talked about. And finally, for single-player content, there's a 12-stage rally school in-game, which I always love seeing. GT's license system is genuinely one of my favorite things, and I wish more games did stuff like this. These lessons can be completed on gravel, asphalt, and snow, and each have their own unique challenges to help you get more comfortable with the game. Now, we weren't able to do much multiplayer in this preview, but you can set up quick play in multiplayer, as well as setting up clubs, which is the primary competitive multiplayer mode where you can build out full championships to race online. Okay, but of course, we have to finish this feature overview chat with the car builder. This is crazy. I mean, who expected this? You can fully build your own rally car from scratch, and you even have a lot of interior customization, which for me, as someone who plays in a first-person view, is awesome. For players who use the cockpit cams, and even thinking about this for when VR support comes to the game post-launch, you can select the dash and shift light placement that makes the most sense for your setup. And I love that. You can do this all in the career too, of course, and I'm curious to see what the balance is going to look like there. You know, if it's actually worth it to build your own car, if there's just going to be kind of one best configuration, or if a variety of setups will work. And how is this going to play into the budget mechanics? Either way, I do think this is a really fun extra feature that not a lot of folks were expecting, and I hope it gets utilized well and expanded on over time. And now, before we wrap up this video, I do want to give a quick shout out to the audio here. I know I've had to kind of turn down all the in-game sounds during this video so that I wasn't trying to talk over the co-driver callouts, and I can't play the licensed music either, but the audio experience across the board has been really strong. The engines sound great, but I actually turned them down a hair along with effects to let the road surface sounds shine through a bit more. And as for the soundtrack, I know it won't be everyone's preference, but this indie electronic chill house playlist honestly might be one of the best game soundtracks I've listened to in years. It has no right being this good for something you really only hear in menus. So, okay, again, much of what I've been talking about today has already been covered on EA's official channels, but I wanted to run through it all quick, not only to catch everyone up, but also to say that this is looking like a truly feature-complete game on release with good driving physics. And, you know, whatever your thoughts are on the industry at the moment, I think that's really kind of a standout point here. There is some great innovation in the rally game space with the moments feature and the car builder, and with these improved dirt rally physics, the core gameplay is really fun. So many games lately are being essentially launched as early access platforms that are built on over time. But I'll say from my own limited experience so far here with WRC, this feels like a game that's at least trying to earn its price tag right away. And oh yeah, by the way, have we talked about the price? This is only $50, and it's even cheaper if you have the loyalty discount from owning Dirt Rally 2.0. There's no special limited premium editions here, it's just the game for $50 US. So honestly, like I said, I've barely scratched the surface here and haven't really played enough to where some of those smaller nagging issues might start to crop up, but I still feel like EA's WRC is kind of coming out the gate swinging here. Codemasters did pretty well with Dirt Rally 1 and 2, and I think if you liked those physics, the gameplay here should feel great to you. And although I think it's still a bummer they're apparently transitioning away from the Dirt Rally series, which comes with the loss of things like Rallycross, I still think that if WRC can release without major bugs or performance or server issues, and then keeps delivering fun scenarios in the moments feature, and doesn't get out of whack with paid DLC, which I think is one of Dirt Rally's biggest shortcomings, well, then this could just be a pretty great game for rally fans that often are kind of left in the dust when it comes to racing games. I mean, Richard Burns' Rally is, 20 years old now, and is still one of the biggest rally games out there. But I think there's a lot to look forward to with this game. There's a lot of promise here, and I'm certainly hoping that Codemasters can deliver with this license under the new EA umbrella. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.